The Full Circle. With DC.
And a very, very, very good day, everybody. My name is DC. I am the host of The Full Circle, a podcast where we link songs together with the last song linking back to the first song, hence completing the full circle. This week, I have a very, very, very special guest. She is my partner and actually now my fiance. Her name is Abi Roberts. Boom, 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 boom. Hey, Abi.
Hello. Yes, I am back again.
You are back, but in a new role, as a fiance now.
Absolutely, still getting used to that word. But yes, we are now engaged and it's all very exciting and very happy times indeed.
Yeah. So we did that in Japan and we just recently came back from Japan a couple of days ago, actually, at the time of recording. Hear us talk about our time in Japan, where the engagement happened and we just had the best time there. And our show is a Japan theme show where all the songs for the full circle are all Japanese artists, 4 of our favorite Japanese artists who we've seen live or just love their music. And yeah, I just hope you enjoyed this Japan themed full circle. What are your thoughts, Abi? How do you feel about our time in Japan?
Our time in Japan was absolutely wonderful. I loved every minute of it. But as you say, we've only just got back. So at the moment, I'm still feeling the effects of the jet lag, which we're still trying to conquer, aren't we? But yes, the actual time away was brilliant.
So shall we begin with the first song? And shall we? Yes, we're going to do 2 songs each. So what's the first song that you've chosen for the full circle and why?
Okay, so yes, as we're saying, we're sticking with the Japan theme. And this Japanese rock band is called One OK Rock. And we actually had the pleasure of seeing them live 2 weeks before leaving. They played the O2 and they were a lot of fun. Very, very good live. I would highly recommend you checking them out and seeing them live if they do come back to the UK. And the song I have chosen is One OK Rock, Nasty.
Nice. Why have you chosen that one?
In my opinion, it was one of the ones I really enjoy. One of their better songs, I think. Yeah, it's just a really, really good song.
Nice. Yeah, really good song as well. Yeah, Detox, a really, really good album. Like I mentioned in a previous show, it was a band that I got into relatively recently. I think it was like the beginning of October, and then somehow saw they were doing a show at the O2 2 weeks later, and we were very fortunate to get tickets for that. So yeah, so One OK Rock, Nasty, the first song on the full circle. Okay, let's begin. Let's talk about our Tokyo not just Tokyo, let's talk about our whole Japan trip, because there's 2 weeks of Japan there that we need to talk about. That's why I've been a bit inactive on social media, and that's why there's not been as much full circle content. So hopefully we can rectify that and talk a lot about Japan. Now, shall we just do it in chronological order? Let's do it like that.
Yeah, no, that sounds as good a way as any.
So we started in Tokyo. We landed on the 2nd of November. And the reason we were going to Japan, the reason why we go this time of the year is because it's my birthday time. So my birthday is on the 4th of November. So we arrived on the 2nd. We landed in Tokyo, got there quite latish in the evening. So the 3rd of November was our first proper full day. I did oversleep. I woke up at like 11 because I hadn't slept very well. I find it easier. I don't know what you guys think. I find it easier when you're going forward. So when you're going forward, because the time is later, I feel like it's easier to sleep. I don't know. What do you think?
So I've always thought of it the other way, because majority of trips I've been fortunate to do has been going across the States, and I find that'll be west, won't it? Going west, I have no trouble with jet lag going there, but coming back to the UK, I just find so difficult to crack the jet lag, which is then going east, which is what we did to Japan. To be fair, because being shattered from traveling, and we arrived quite late, I did sleep pretty well, like through the night, but I definitely didn't sleep as late as you did.
Yeah, that's true. I've actually found it a lot harder to since coming back to the UK. But anyway, enough about that. Let's focus on Japan. So Tokyo on that day was good fun. we went to, oh my goodness, this is why I need you, because I don't know how good I am at saying these things. Shiuba Sky? Is that what it was called?
Yeah.
Did I say it correctly?
I mean, I'm not much better.
dear.
Shibuya was the crossing, the famous crossing with the volume of people crossing it each day is like the most in the world. And then we went up the Sky Tower, which overlooked the crossing and gave brilliant views over Tokyo.
Yeah, it really did. Yeah, it was incredible. And we got there when it was daylight, and then we saw the sunset, didn't we, as well? That was incredible.
Yeah, we were so lucky with the weather. We had clear skies, so we could actually see Mount Fuji in the distance, and the sunset behind Mount Fuji. It was beautiful. And then, because we could stay up there, we then saw Tokyo come alive, all lit up, which again was stunning. So yeah, perfect time. I mean, we won't go into the stress of trying to get tickets. You have to pre-book it 2 weeks in advance. And it's always those time slots just go, don't they? They're very popular. But we were very lucky and managed to secure the optimum timed tickets.
Yeah, really, really fun. Really, really fun day. I'm trying to remind myself what we did before then. I think we went to a park, didn't we? We went to this park that you had to actually pay for.
Yeah, we went to the National Gardens, and then we went to a shrine, and then we carried on walking to Shibuya, and that's when we walked past a radio station. They were broadcasting live, and anyone on the street could just watch through the window, and there was just a Japanese man just singing away, which you could hear on the street was going out live over the radio, and we could just watch him singing from the street. It was very bizarre. And then we carried on, and that's when we came across Tower Records, which we were very happy about.
Yeah, 7 floors. And I think it was incredible. Very successful. There was 3, we'll talk about it later, there was 3 separate Tower Records in different places, and it was a successful shop in all 3. Ended up getting both the most recent Red Hot Chili Peppers albums, Unlimited Love and Return of the Dream Canteen, because they both had the Japanese bonus tracks, which I just don't understand, and neither of them made it on the album. And yeah, one of them ended up being a birthday present for me, didn't they?
Yeah, not that I was leaving anything to the last minute or anything like that.
But yeah, that was really fun. And the other thing I wanted to talk about was us going to the shrine, because something that they do, which is quite cool in Japan, is they do a lot of like collecting. Because obviously Pokemon and things like that, collecting Pokemon. And the thing that you can do there is collect stamps. And they have 2 separate stamps. They have like stamps just like generally, so like trains, landmarks, but they've also got stamps for shrines and temples. And that's where we got our first stamp, didn't we?
Yeah, so they're called, again, apologies on the pronunciation, I think Goshin stamp. And you have to buy a specific book for it. They're incredible to see being done. They're unique to each place of worship. And it's a memento of your visit. And it's all calligraphy and stamps that are done in front of you while you wait. So yeah, that was very cool to be seen being done. And we ended up collecting quite a few over the 2 weeks, didn't we?
Yeah, loads. So that was, So, I mean, like the evening, we just got something to eat. We just had a little bit more of a look around Tokyo. I think you made us cross that Shibuya crossing like 7 times, didn't you?
I needed the photo.
Yeah.
But no, we didn't just stay there. We went to the Pokemon Center.
Of course, we went to the Pokemon Center. Oh my goodness. No, I know we didn't just stay there, but what I meant is we just did a bit more looking around other places. But I forgot that was the day we went to Pokemon Center. Yes. So Tokyo, so obviously Japan, big on Pokemon. They have Pokemon centers all around Japan, and Tokyo. It was just absolute carnage in terms of how many people were there, and the queue took an age. Yeah, it was successful. We got ourselves a few things, so that's good. And then we ate somewhere, which was nice. We didn't eat as much Japanese food as we should have, did we?
No, we weren't probably as adventurous as we should have been. Neither of us are big fans of seafood, which is obviously quite a big factor in Japanese cuisine. So we kind of tried to avoid that. But where we did eat was in an area called Shinjuku, which comes alive at night. It's all neon lights. There's a Godzilla head. There's a 3D cat billboard, which is very cute to see. That was also very cool to experience and walk around at nighttime.
Nice. Yes. So then the next day was my birthday, the 4th of November. which is great, but not so great because I didn't sleep the best and I wasn't 100%, which was not ideal. But Abby, I feel like maybe it's worth you telling us what you were treating me to.
What do we do on your birthday?
No, you're taking the mickey, aren't you? We started the morning with the presents, as per usual.
Yeah.
And go on.
This was my boo-boo, wasn't it? This is what I've forgotten. At the Shibuya Sky the day before, you had to put everything in a locker because you're going outside at the top. I did not check the locker on leaving, and we realised once we got back to the hotel that I had left, Deb's headphones had been left in the locker. So the morning was spent getting the reception to phone, and actually they did confirm that something matching that description had been handed in. Our initial plans had to be postponed while we went back to the Shibuya Sky Tower to find the lost and found, and successfully, thankfully, otherwise I'd be buying you some more headphones, retrieve your headphones.
Yes, thank goodness. Thank goodness for that. Reunite my headphones, so that story is all good. Thankfully they were all there. I mean, like, yeah, the conversation was quite funny, wasn't it? Like there was definitely some translation issue.
Yes, a lot of Google Translate and quickly Googling photos to try and show what we were describing. And yeah, but we got there in the end. And I say, thankfully, it was a happy ending.
Yeah. So we got there all okay, and then we then did the crossing again because we were in that area again, which you made us do again. Like,
why not?
Yeah, exactly. Why not? And then we went to this area where there's another tower, isn't there?
Yeah, we went to a second shrine, and then we also had the very typical Japanese cuisine of a Denny's there. And wandered around the shrine, and then we went across to the Sky Tree, which was the second Pokemon store of the trip.
Yeah, so we didn't get tickets to go up the Sky Tree. We just thought we went to one the day before, so what was the point of doing that? And we went to another Pokemon Center. And the cool thing about these Pokemon Centers is they're all different because they have different layouts, different items. And what I love about them is that the first thing you see is like a statue of a particular Pokemon. So it's just really cool to just see that. So the one in Tokyo, sorry if I spoil it, the one in Tokyo was one of Mewtwo. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I can't remember the one. The first Tokyo one, I can't remember the one of the one there. So yeah, so after the Pokemon Center, we then went to Team Lab Planets.
Yes, which was very cool. It's an immersive art exhibition, brilliant for photos. They are massive exhibits. We did the planets one. There is another one in Tokyo called Borderless, and there was a lot of to and fro which one we were going to do. But we chose this one that's a bit more interactive, and that was really good fun. You actually walk through water, and then they have projections of fish, like koi fish in the water that appear to interact with you, that they will move if you move. It's all very clever, very well done. And yeah, just some stunning displays. The final one was like real life flowers hanging that would then be lowered and raised from the ceiling. It was, very cool indeed. And I'd highly recommend if you're in Tokyo.
Yeah. Really enjoyed that. That was fun. And the only annoying thing is that my trousers got a bit wet.
Yeah, we couldn't get them on high enough, could we? We tried.
Terrible. And then after that, we then made it to the Japanese restaurant, which is not a Japanese restaurant, it's a Western restaurant called Hard Rock Cafe.
Yay, we do love our Hard Rock cafes. And it's a great place to go for your birthday. They really do a song and dance for you, don't they, as they bring out your birthday treat of a Sunday. So yeah, that went down a real treat, that did.
Yeah, it was good. A little bit embarrassing, but it was good. No, I had a really good birthday. So thank you very much for that. That was a great day. So then the next day was our trip to Mount Fuji. But before that, let's choose the second song on the Full Circle. So the first song was One OK Rock Nasty. Now, normally with the Full Circle, there's a link between each song, but all of these have the same link. They're all from Japan, so there's no real link to it. But there is a bit of a link for this one because there was a band supporting One OK Rock at the O2 Arena, and they were called Pale Dusk. And they've got a really good song called Slay. They are, I think, chaos core is what some people describe them as. Their genre of music is like, and I mean this in the nicest possible way, it's all over the place. But they are fun, really good live, high energy, high tempo, just smashing it. And when they came on to do a song with Monica Rock called Curiosity, that was so fun. So yeah, so the second song on the full circle is Pale Dusk and Slay. Back to Japan. So now we are heading to Mount Fuji. Now we saw the weather just before we were going to Japan, and we were like, because it's tricky. It's one of those things. I think Abby is the chief planner. And I think it's fair to say that it was tricky to plan things. Well, I mean, what do you make of that?
Yeah, I think I was just aware. I've never planned a trip as much as I've planned this Japan one, because I'm just aware of how popular it is. If you want to do something, they need to be pre-booked in advance. Otherwise, there's a good chance you're not doing it. With Mount Fuji, the factor which unfortunately you have no control over is the weather. There is only a 1 in 5 chance of actually seeing the full mountain volcano. And so I booked us an overnight to give us a full over 24 hours to give us best possibility as possible to see it. And the day before, when we were in Tokyo packing, it was fantastic. Clear, like sunny, clear blue skies. We were like, yes, this is going to work out. And then we woke up and on the day, the weather app had just changed to cloud for the next 2 days. We couldn't believe it. But we were lucky. We saw it. Typically, the best views we had were on the bus there and then on the bus as we were leaving the next day. The whole time we were off the bus, wandering the 5 lakes and exploring all that area. Mount Fuji pretty much had our head in the clouds.
Yeah, that happened on the first day. On the second day, it was clear blue skies, except the low-lying cloud on Mount Fuji, until around 3-ish. So we had to get back to Tokyo. So basically, we very last minute, so this is the thing, you can't last minute do things, but we were very last minute able to book a Pokemon cafe on the 6th of November, so the second day on Mount Fuji. So our plan was always to go back to Tokyo to then continue our trip. So we had to because I think the booking was at like 8 o'clock, we had to get back. Well, we were aiming to get back around 7-ish. So it gave us enough time to get to the hotel and then get the things and then go to the Pokemon cafe. So at 4 o'clock, or was it 3:30? We saw Mount Fuji. We did see it, didn't we?
Yeah, she finally came out.
She?
Yeah, I don't know why. I'm just calling her she.
Okay.
Finally came out. It was our penultimate stop. She'd been in cloud all day. I even got up early because I heard that maximum chance is first thing in the morning before the cloud comes in. Absolutely no point doing that. It was thick cloud from about 6:30 onwards. But yeah, the cloud finally parted and we saw the top and then it just continued to clear. So actually, as I say, the best visibility was when we were then on the coach leaving.
Yeah. But anyway, it was still a really fun 2 days at Mount Fuji. And it's one of those things where you can't control it, but you have to go there to just enjoy it. And it was still fun, no?
Still beautiful area. We were staying around the 5 lakes. Being November, they have all the autumnal colours at the moment, which was just stunning. And in one of the little towns on the lake, they were having a light show. So for this month, they will light up the trees at nighttime, which was beautiful to see. So yeah, it definitely was a great trip out there. And it was nice to have a bit of nature after all the busyness of the Tokyo city.
Yeah. And then we made it back. A few hiccups because it got back a bit later than we liked, so we couldn't check into a hotel and we need to collect the rail passes and all that sort of stuff, which is a bit more boring. But anyway, we made it to the Pokemon Cafe. I mean, presentation wise, it was the cutest thing ever. Like, it was basically just bowls of Pokemon. I mean, I had an Eevee rice and you had a Snorlax dish. Then I think I got like a Gengar, which is a ghost Pokemon. I got a Gengar drink and Pikachu drink, and I think there was another Eevee drink. And yeah, it was very, very nice and very just cute. And then at the end, this massive Pikachu comes out and just does a dance and just walks around, and you just sort of wave at it. And it's a show. It's a show. I mean, they managed to get you to get a mini Pikachu off it, didn't they?
Yes, I did. So come and buy a little memento of a miniature Pikachu in a chef costume. As you say, like the presentation was amazing. It was so cute, so well done. But I would say the food, I mean, actually now in hindsight, that was probably the worst meal of the whole trip. Yeah, it wasn't the best. It was fine. It was okay. But yeah, it wasn't the nicest we had of the whole trip, was it?
Yeah, I guess when you say like that, no, and probably one of the most expensive ones as well.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
So that was that, and we made it back to Tokyo, and it was a short layover because you can tell us where we were going to next.
Yes, then we had a bit more of the historical period of the trip. We went across the country to a place called Kanzawa. So we had our first experience of the bullet train. It really did not feel like you were going, 200 kilometers an hour. But that was quite cool. Very spacious. You have so much legroom. It's lovely. And then, so we had one night in Kanzawa and one night in Takayama. And both of them, Kanzawa has both geisha districts and like a samurai district. So you're seeing all the traditional buildings in those areas. And then in and in Kanzawa, I should add, they've got this Japanese garden that is one of the top 3 gardens in Japan, apparently. But it was lovely, really lovely. And we actually stayed that night in a traditional ryokan. So we were sleeping on mattresses on the floor, weren't we? And there was an onsen there as well, which was like a natural thermal spa / hot tub, which I used as well. So that was a very nice way to end another busy day.
Yeah, so just to add, the 3 great gardens of Japan, Kenroko End Garden, which is the one we did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, considered one of the most beautiful in Japan that represents all 6 key attributes of a perfect garden. I don't know what that is.
No.
The other one's in Maito, the Kairaku End Garden. It's known for its 3,000 plum trees that bloom in early spring. And then the other one is in Okayama, the Karakuen Garden. It's a spacious and beautiful garden that was built for the public to enjoy. So yes, the 3 great gardens of Japan.
Lovely. So yes, that was very nice. And our Ryokan stay was an experience. I found it a little bit uncomfortable. Felt a little bit like camping, like if you've been on your hip for long enough, it started to hurt a bit.
I loved it.
Yeah, you slept great, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's because then I was finally catching your cold. So then I came down with the cold, so I didn't sleep the best because I just couldn't breathe. But yes, we then carried on our travels to Takayama, which was another, it has a historical centre. They call it the Edo period type buildings. And we went on a lovely walk, seeing dozens of temples and shrines. And you could it's like on the edge of the mountain, so you can start seeing the Japanese Alps, which were just starting to become snow covered. So that was really lovely as well.
Nice. Yeah, very nice. Yeah, that was a very nice part of the trip. A little bit less, not secluded, because Japan, as we realized, as you warned me before we got there, is a very busy place.
Very, very busy. Yeah, there's just people everywhere. And even in Kanazawa and Takayama, which are supposedly more hidden gems, quieter areas, there's still, when you're there at midday, the streets are just packed. But I did get up early and go back down to the main street in Takayama, and that was clear at that time. So yeah, it wasn't as busy as other areas.
Clear in terms of people, but not clear in terms of the sky, because you got absolutely drenched.
That was a very wet day, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was very wet. And then we and obviously we chose that day to go to an open air museum, didn't we?
Yeah, I know. You think going to museum is the right choice on a wet day, but it was actually open air. And then obviously being in Japan, when you go into the houses, they always want you to take your shoes off. Yeah. And I had such wet feet. Oh dear. But yeah, shoes on, shoes off, which was hard work in the wet rain. But it was a really interesting museum, just seeing all the traditional houses from the area that they had moved there. Like some had survived a landslide and things like that, and then had moved there to preserve them. So that was very cool to see.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was nice. Yeah. And then we got the train to Kyoto.
Yeah, we had 3 nights in Kyoto, and our first clear day we went out to the Arashima area, which is where, I don't know if you've seen on the old Instagram, but they have this wonderful bamboo forest. So we went out to see that. And they also had probably my favorite temple was this one where they have hundreds, if not thousands, of little tiny, I think they're called, is it Roken or Raken? They're followers of Buddha and people who were learning how to sculpt from this famous sculptor made these statues, sculpted these statues while training under him. So there's hundreds and they're all fantastic. They all have really quirky expressions. One of them holding a cat. So that was really different to see. And had a great time seeing all the different statues there. So we went out and saw those temples and the bamboo forest out that way. And then we went and saw the shrine that is beautiful. It's completely golden and it's on stilts over water. And with the sun hitting it, it was just glistening. It was really lovely. But again, very busy.
Yeah, very, very busy. And then the next day was a bit more of a serious day, wasn't it?
Yes, and it coincided with Remembrance Day, and we did a day trip to Hiroshima. So we got the bullet train down there. It's about 2 hours away from Kyoto. The first part of the day, actually, we didn't go straight to the center of Hiroshima. We actually went out, and you can get a boat trip to a island. It's only 10 minutes away by boat, by ferry. And I want to say Miyajima Island again. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. But they have the floating torii gate. So it's out to water. So when the tide is in, it looks like it's floating. And then when the tide is out, you can actually walk out to it. But the tide was in when we were there. And there's also a lot of deer there as well. So they're just wandering the streets. So that was very cute to see as well.
And that was the day where we wanted to just have a very quick bite, but we ended up having basically it was like a whole, I don't know how to describe it, but basically we went to this place where they make these pancakes in front of you, but it was just the decor, the presentation, the vibe, the atmosphere. There were 6 of us just on the table, and then we all choose our pancakes that we want. And then there's all the plates up there, so of different colors and sizes and shapes, well, all circular, but like different styles. And then we all choose that. And then we just watch them make the pancakes. We just watch them make it, and then they serve it to us. And almost like Salt Bay, they'll like, get the icing and just sprinkle it around. And, it was very suave, is that the phrase? And it was a delight. I mean, it cost a lot of money, but way more than expected, but it was a delight.
That was not what we were expecting at all, but they were the delicious Japanese fluffy pancakes, which are huge, and they were so filling and was delicious. And it was a complete experience from start to finish, seeing it made in front of you. But not quite what we were anticipating or had thought when we went in, but we went with it, and it actually ended up being one of our favorite meal experiences of the trip, didn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And then so after that we then roamed around the park, had a look at the torii gates, saw some deer, and then we got the ferry back and went into Hiroshima itself. And how did you find that experience?
So as I say, it's quite a somber experience. It's just unfathomable, the level of destruction and the volume of people who sadly died as a result of the atomic bombs. The park itself, so it's the Peace Park, and they've got different memorials to go and see within the Peace Park. And then you've got the museum. The museum was intense for a number of reasons. Extremely graphic pictures, people with like really thick and, some people were just like burnt, like their whole back is just burnt. There was others with scarring. There's a little tricycle from a child that had died. It was really sad, really sad. But the other aspect was just the volume of people. Like we had to queue to get into the main exhibit room, and once you were in there, it was just full. You couldn't really move. You were just shuffling along with everyone. If you wanted to try and see an exhibit, it was just such a negotiation around people to try and read a plaque or anything like that. It was really hard work. So obviously it's quite an intense exhibit you're reading and learning about, but just that volume of people just made it actually quite overwhelming. So I'm glad we did it, but I'm also glad when we could get out of there.
Yeah. It was, I mean, very eye-opening. And it's one of those things where you know about it, and you know, like, the impact and the devastation it caused, but only when you're there and only when you see it and you can feel it. I think it's different to just hearing about it, but actually going there. Like, all the buildings that were there, they were all made after the war. Like, they kept one part, didn't they? They kept was it a dome?
Yeah, the atomic dome. They've done that really well, actually. It's just pure fluke that this one building, very close to the epicenter of where the bomb exploded, actually the main interior survived. The iron girders and things like that actually survived, and they've preserved that as a monument. So I think that's really well done. But then when you think about it, the rest of the city is all post-war, because nothing was survived the atomic bomb.
Yeah. I mean, an experience, if people ever go to Japan and ever are in that area, it's definitely worth doing, and I think it's really important to do it, but just be aware of the impact it can have on you, it can have on the other people that are there as well. We saw people there that were visibly distressed and upset by this, and of course it is very upsetting. And we chose that day because it was Remembrance Day, and we thought it was really important to go there on that day, because it is a day of remembrance. And I think it was an experience that I would definitely recommend going to, but also just acknowledging that, you know, it was a very harrowing experience as well. Yeah.
On a lighter note, for tea that day, we just picked up food from one of their convenience stores, the 7-Eleven, and that was our first time of trying the viral egg sandwich. People might not have seen this, but when anyone's on social media say about the food in Japan, it keeps coming up to have the egg sandwich from the 7-Eleven, and we can confirm it's very tasty and the bread is very fluffy.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. So the next day was another early start. No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
Was it? Okay, go on then, tell me. Remind me.
Well, again, to try and beat the crowds, we got up at just before 6 to go and see. There's a famous pagoda in Kyoto, which we went to the viewpoint to see. There's a street going down with the pagoda at the bottom. But everyone else also had the same idea. It wasn't rammed like it can be, but there were still definitely quite a few people there. And then from the pagoda, we then went to the Fushimi Inara shrine, which is where there are thousands of torii gates that go up a mountainside. Yeah, we went there. Again, trying to beat the crowds unsuccessfully, but probably less busy than what it could be. And there were periods, because there's just so many gates. I mean, it was a good 45-minute walk through these gates to the top of the mountain. There were periods where you were on your own, which was nice. And that was incredible. The photos don't put in perspective how big these gates are, and there are just so many of them. We climbed that and came back down. Yeah, so that was our early morning start.
Yeah. And then we explored Kyoto a little bit more, and then we went to Osaka, didn't we?
Yeah, so just adding Kyoto, obviously, we did all the Gion district, and we actually went to the Geisha Museum, where we saw a traditional geisha dance performance. It was 15 minutes long. We saw 2 dances. The first was a solo dance, and the second, there were 2 traditional geisha doing this dance. It was interesting, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, look, mad respect to them. They have worked very hard to get to where they have, and it's an honor for them. It's probably a little bit too much not to our convention. It's it's a little bit on the unconventional side if you're not from Japan and you don't know the sort of things or rituals that they do. Does that make sense? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's just not something that we are used to. Obviously, dance is a very expressionable art form. In fact, they do that because they keep such a neutral facial expression, which can be quite unnerving. There's absolutely no movement in the face, and they are just expressing and telling the story through their dance moves. And it was really interesting to see it being performed. And they had the traditional fan. And it was a fantastic experience. But what I would say is I'm not the biggest fan of their traditional music. There is an instrument, and I can't remember what the Japanese instrument is, but I'm not a fan.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, like, look, it's fine. It's fine. It was fine. So I think Abby's actually going to try and look up to see what the name of the Japanese... Oh, it's just the list of all the Japanese musical instruments. There's loads of them. They've got the koto, the shamisen, the shakukachi, the taiko drums. Do you know which one it is?
I think it's the shamisen. It's the 3-stringed lute. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Didn't really agree with my ears.
Fair enough. And then how could I forget that? I'm sorry. And then we made it to Osaka, didn't we?
Yes. Then we went to the bustling metropolis that is Osaka.
And we were going to go to this pizza place, weren't we? Was it that evening?
Yes. No.
No. Okay.
No.
Well, that's a lie. So then we made it to the hotel, all okay. And then what did we do?
We went to Hard Rock Cafe.
Ah, of course we did. For the second time. Dear, oh dear. Went to another Hard Rock Cafe. No, we didn't.
Yes, we did.
I thought we went to a Hard Rock Cafe in Kyoto, not in Osaka.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we missed out the Hard Rock in Kyoto.
Yeah.
Okay, cut that bit.
I'm going to have to cut that bit. That's annoying.
Yeah.
Oh, that's probably one of the best bits of the show. Okay.
No. That was the traditional meal night. Finally, it took 2/3 of the trip, but we actually then had a traditional Japanese meal. And it really was. We think it was just in a lovely husband and wife converted house. You knew it was traditional when they didn't give you any cutlery. It was just chopsticks. The main meal itself was really lovely, but I don't think we were a fan of the tofu, were we?
Never been a fan of tofu. But they were really nice. It was a nice meal. Not really much more to add to that. And then, we made it back to the hotel all okay. And then the next day was our Universal Day. But before we do that, let's move on to the third song of the full circle, because it's been a little while since we've spoken about the songs, because this has turned into a holiday show, even though it's meant to be a music show.
Absolutely.
So what's the third song on the full circle?
So the third song, you'll be shocked to know, is by another Japanese artist. You may have heard of them. They're a band called Babymetal. And the song I've chosen is an absolute banger, and it's called Ratata. It's just a great, great song.
Yeah, first song that was on one of the first songs on the full circle on the first episode, and it is a really, really good song, Ratata, the third song on the full circle, and one more song to go. So, Osaka, Universal. Come on, Abby, summarize it.
No, Universal Studios, the main reason we wanted to do it in Japan is they have the Super Nintendo World, which again, you have to get a ticket to enter, a time ticket. So if you are not there first thing, you're probably not getting in. And lo and behold, when we got there, it was already at capacity. But we had anticipated this and we had pre-booked tickets. So that was our first destination within the park. Very cool design. You see all Yoshi's Adventure and everything. And we did the Super Mario racing game. Is that right? The ride?
Yeah, Mario Kart, I think.
Yeah, so that was really cool. Do you want to talk about that?
Mario Kart, they call it a different name in Japan. I think they call it Yuri's Challenge, but in America or in other countries, they call it Bowser's Challenge. Yeah, that was fun. So basically, you wear a Mario hat, you have the VR goggles on essentially, and what you're doing, you're just racing around the track, and you're trying to beat Bowser and his cronies, and you've got items similar if to those that play Mario Kart on Switch or Nintendo DS or whatever. You basically have got lots of items, and you shoot it at the enemies, at your rivals, and the aim is to win. And it's one of those things where actually you can see the scoring, you can see how well you're doing versus everyone else, and it tells you like your scores. I think I did okay. I think I got like third, so I'll take that. Yeah,
I didn't do as well, did I? It's like fifth or something.
I mean, that's still decent. So yeah, so we did that, and then we went on. I think it was Donkey Kong's Cart of Mayhem or something like that.
Yes, and I love that ride, but I don't want to spoil it because it's very unique and very different, and you have to ride it to fully experience it. But that was a lot of fun. I did really enjoy that.
Yeah, and then so we explored a bit more of Nintendo World, which was fun. And then because we got this pass, and I will say this, it's not cheap. I mean, it's just something to think about. You got to like look at the prices and just decide, are those prices worth the time of skipping the queue, essentially? Because like we say, you could be like a 3-hour wait for some of these, and if you're just waiting there for 3 hours, you just got to think, is the money worth that? And I think, like, as much as it was quite expensive, it's probably worth skipping it. So then we then explored a few other parts around it, and then we had tickets for Jaws, didn't we? So we had tickets for Jaws. And
Yeah.
Good.
Love Jaws. That's no longer in the Florida one, but that was really good fun. Obviously, it was all in Japanese, so I couldn't understand what was going on because it's like a boat tour and then Jaws comes. But yeah, that was really entertaining.
And then we did this is one I was a little bit unsure about, but I did it. We did the flying dinosaur.
Yes, in Jurassic World, there is a flying dinosaur. It's probably not too dissimilar to is it Oblivion at Alton Towers, where you're actually on your stomach, so you sit down and then it lifts up, so then you're like just facing the floor. And it was quite an intense roller coaster, wasn't it? Made you feel a little bit queasy by the end of it.
Yeah. So then, we chill. I think that was when I was like, right, I'm going to chill a bit. I'm not going to go on any more rides, I don't think. So I think that was it for me. But then, no, I know it wasn't. But I felt at that stage it wasn't it for me. Sorry, Abby gave me a look to be like, no, you didn't. But we then I think we like just chilled a bit, and then we went to the Minions area, didn't we?
No.
Oh, go on then. Tell me where we went to next.
We did the Jurassic Park the ride.
Oh yeah. See, this is why you got to keep these things in because it's natural, isn't it? We can't just remove these things. Of course, Jurassic Park the ride. Oh yeah. Oh God, go on. You tell them about this one.
That's great. I mean, it's a log flume ride, essentially. Again, you're pretending you're in Jurassic Park, doing the nice boat tour, seeing all the dinosaurs, and then, oh my God, it all goes wrong. The raptors have escaped. You get knocked off course. And that's when you're going into like the off limits area. And then T-Rex comes at you and then you drop down. And it's probably the one ride you don't want to be sat at the front of. So as you can now anticipate, Deb and I were front and to the side. It's probably the worst place you can be sat. And we got absolutely soaked.
Yeah, I mean, I managed to find a poncho, so I managed to just avoid a little bit of that. But you, unfortunately, did not get a poncho.
No.
Very wet.
No, my jeans, you could see exactly where the lap bar had been over my legs. My jeans were pretty wet. They did dry out, thankfully. But yeah, I knew what was coming.
Yeah. Yeah, that was right. And then I think I was like, right, I'm done. I'm done with rides.
Yeah. Then you were done.
So then we went to the Minions area, didn't we?
Yeah, met some Minions, I can't remember their names.
Dave.
Yeah.
And I've forgotten the other one.
Yeah. They were all dressed up, so got to meet them. And then we went on the ride to do with like the villain con, where you go shooting. You actually stand on like a conveyor belt and you just stand still and you get taken around, and you've got these massive screens and you're given a gun and like a laser gun, and you shoot at all the bad guys on the screen. So that's quite good fun.
Yeah, that's a fun one. And then we did some more exploring around Universal, looking at all the sites. You also did an extra ride, which I chose not to do. What did you do?
Yeah, so I went through the Hollywood Dream ride. I went through like the solo rider line, hoping it'd be a little bit quicker. I think it was, but it was still probably a good 50-minute wait for it. I had hoped that because it was towards the end of the day now, it'd be a little bit quieter, which I think it was. And it was good fun. You actually select a music choice you want to have in like your earpieces as you go around the roller coaster. I mean, you've got one of 5 selections, and I only know 2 of them. So I went for Michael Jackson's Bad, and that was really cool to actually have that playing as you're going around. And because it was dark at that point, it was really cool to see all the park lit up and everything. So really enjoyed that ride actually.
Yeah, fair. And then we had a hard rock that evening.
Yes, then we had our third and final hard rock of the evening.
Which was nice. It was good. It was yummy.
Well, I mean, also we didn't mention that we popped into Hogsmeade as well, didn't we? And had some butterbeer.
We did.
Yeah, and then in the evening there was like a light show on the Hogwarts Castle, which was very festive.
Yeah, so then we did that, and then we went to Hard Rock, and then it was a long day. It was a long but a very fun day. A very fun day. And then I think you said that the next day was going to be a bit more of a chilled day. So I thought that would be the time to maybe pull a few surprises. Lol. I wonder what this could be. So the first thing we did was we booked a Japanese tea ritual.
Tea ceremony, yeah.
Japanese tea ceremony. Yeah, that was basically myself and Abby in a room being taught about the history of it, and also being taught about the way to have the tea. Now, I don't want to say too much because I think actually it for those that are going to Japan, I don't want to ruin that. So I think it'd be worth experiencing that and understanding the history and knowing about that. I mean, what did you make of that?
Yeah, I think this is one of the highlights of the trip, learning a little bit about their culture. Like the actual tea making process was demonstrated to us, and then we each had a go. So we made their famous matcha tea, which I don't mind actually. I quite like, but you weren't the biggest fan, were you?
It's okay. I think there's better stuff in Japan. It's okay. So then I had it in my head as to like where to go from there. But then you told me that we were going to Nara. So tell us a bit about Nara.
So Nara is probably about 40 minutes away by train from Osaka. And there's a couple of things Nara is famous for, and it's their dia. They're famous because they bow. So you buy some crackers and you bow, and they bow back, and then you feed them the crackers, which is just adorable. And the other thing that is quite well known in Nara is this massive Buddha statue in one of the temples, which was very, very impressive to see.
Yes, very good. Very, very good. We made it to Nara, and we were exploring, we were having a look around, and we also went up to this government tower that basically allowed us to see the views of Nara, and that was cool. And then we went to the main park, but adjacent to the main park is this little secret park. And we went to this park, which was meant to be very scenic and have lots of lovely views. It was actually busier than I thought, not gonna lie.
Yes, it was under the Japanese garden, and it was free entry, always a bonus. But yeah, again, wasn't as much of a hidden gem as we thought it was going to be.
But it was still a gem, and we managed to find a bench to ourselves, and that is when I proposed to Abby.
Yes, absolutely. And I, of course, said yes. So yes, a very lovely, fantastic thing to happen to really top off an already great trip. But yeah, it's made it the best trip ever.
Well, you have to say that.
I do.
Did you know? Like, did you know it's going to happen?
I had some suspicions. Yes. When you've been together as long as we have, I do think I can read you quite well. So yes, I thought something is going on here.
Oh dear. Yeah. I mean, it was tough. It was tough to because obviously we were heading away, and you think about these things, you think about when to do it, and I just thought Japan was the prime time to do it. But when you're going away, that week preceding can be very difficult when you're working and getting all your work done, but also needing to do your other stuff, your life admin, your packing and all that sort of stuff. And that was tricky. And I think I told Abby, it's been quite stressful. And I think she might have cottoned onto that. And also me leaving a piece of paper on
Yes, that was also a bit of a giveaway. As you say, I kind of clocked that things were a little bit more stressful than I thought they should be. And then I was starting to just do some tidying of the flat before heading off. And the first thing I do is pick up a piece of paper, which was very quickly snatched out of my hand. And when I said, what was it? I got the really convincing answer of nothing.
Well, what I said is, don't worry about it. Nothing. Don't worry about it. It's nothing.
Absolutely.
Well, what could I have said? What could have saved that? Because the issue was it said the name of her jewelers that you knew. So you knew. So I just assumed you knew what it was. So I couldn't really say anything else.
No, I mean, actually, because I only had such the quickest glance at it, all I saw was the word was returns. So I had no idea what that was in relation to. So you probably didn't need to have worried as much as you did.
Yeah.
But again, it kind of just added to the suspicion.
But yeah, anyway, there we go. So a lovely way to have done it. And then, yeah, we're now fiance, and yeah, it's incredible moment, the next chapter of our relationship. And we celebrated that by going to the deer park and feeding the deer. And do you want to tell them about how you got very upset about the deer? Do you want to share this story?
I had said to Jeff many times, we have to be careful because these deer, actually, as cute as they are, can be quite aggressive. They headbutt you. They actually can nip and try and bite you. So it's like we need to be really careful. And the first thing we did was we tried to walk to what we thought was like this one deer. And then as soon as we went there with all the biscuits, we just got surrounded. All these deer came just towards us.
Oh dear.
They were following us. We were trying to run away. They were following us. One did bite me on the back. I was shouting at Deb, like, put the crackers in your pocket. And he was like, I can't. And eventually he did manage to get the crackers in the pocket. We could show them that we had nothing in our hands. And then we had to go and get your water bottle that had been dropped.
Yeah, not good. Yeah.
It was pretty much, I was like, this is everything I didn't want to happen.
Genuinely, you were just absolutely furious. Absolutely furious. I'm glad the ring was okay though. That was the most important thing.
Yeah, the ring survived it. It was quite funny. And then we did what we knew we had to do anyway. I don't know what happened there, but we then just took one cracker out at a time, approached a deer, did the bowing, and then just kind of scooted off a bit. But yeah, it was a bit of a start to that.
Yeah. So that was that. And then we made it back to Osaka, and I think it was it Dotonbori that we saw?
Yes. Yeah. Well done.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I do remember something. So Dotonbori, a very busy, very bright. Apparently it's famous for its this runner. This picture of a runner.
Yeah, so again, it's all the neon lights and billboards and things like that. And I don't know why, but one of the ones that is famous is one of the billboards of this runner.
Yeah. And then we went to have some food, and then we walked along the lake. And before that, we also went canal. Sorry. Oh yeah, you don't like it when I mispronounce the types of water bodies. But yeah, we also went to another Pokemon Center, which is cool. That was a good one. And yeah, we just explored Osaka, which was nice.
Yeah, we did our Japanese park run there, didn't we?
So that was the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was Saturday. We did our Japanese park run. We don't need to tell them about how I made us get the wrong tube and had to then get a taxi, which cost like 10 times the amount of money we should have paid for. We don't need to tell them about that.
No.
But we did the park run. It was really fun. I had my knee, because on another episode I spoke about my knee, so I had my knee strapped, lots of ibuprofen, and it was okay. And you smashed it. You did really, really well, and it was a really lovely park, wasn't it?
Beautiful
and they were,
park.
and the thing is, I don't know if any of you guys do park runs, but sometimes you know, there's motivation, and there is motivation in the volunteers they really got you going, like, so much. I was shocked at how it's so infectious, like so infectious about how much and even I was like just absolutely like buzzing after it, and it was great. It was really good fun. That was great to tick a park run off in Japan.
Absolutely. We've got the Japanese flag on our little app, haven't we? But just to add that, there was like one of the volunteers was cycling around and was just like, yeah, keep going, like as he passed you. So yeah, great experience, really lovely park, beautiful sunshine. Really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And then we just kind of explored Osaka. We went and saw the castle, which was a really lovely building, really fantastic architecture there. So we went and walked around that and around us, both the inner and the outer moats of the castle. Probably my second highlight of the trip. The first, obviously, being the proposal.
God, I thought something else.
No,
I thought it was being bit by the deer.
No, the second one is I got to pet the Japanese Akita dog, and it was beautiful. It was so fluffy, and she was such a good girl just lying there. Really loved meeting that dog.
Look, let's be honest. I think if I wasn't here, you'd be saying that was your number one.
No comment.
Oh my goodness.
No, of course not. No, that was really lovely. And then we just kind of saw more of the different sides. Oh, we had ramen, didn't we? Again, we finally had a bit more of traditional Japanese delicacy, and that was really yummy, really yummy. Went to another Tower Records.
Yeah, we went to another Tower Records, and another successful one. Because we didn't mention the other Tower Records we went to, and I managed to get the Japanese sleep token even in Arcadia, so that was cool. But this one, I managed to get two things. I managed to get another Red Hot Chili Peppers CD, because, by the way, it has a Japanese bonus track called Time, which is a really, really good song. Completely recommend it. And not many places has the vinyl of One Hot Minute, the album in between Blood Sugar Sex Magic and Californication, when John Frusciante left the band, Dave Navarro, which is a top album. A bit different, a bit more like heavier, rockier, grungier. But yeah, that was fun. And yeah, we managed to get vinyl of that. So great. Another great success, as Borat would say.
Yeah, so that pretty much topped off our time in Japan, didn't it?
Yeah. Where was your favorite? Forget about proposal and things like that, but where was your favorite place? Like, what was your favorite place to see in Japan, would you say?
I really enjoyed our sunny day in Takayama, where we had like the walk to all the different shrines and seeing all the traditional buildings there. I think that really felt like we were experiencing Japan.
Nice.
How about you?
Yeah, I think I really enjoyed like just being in Tokyo. I think I'm a bit more of a city boy. I think Tokyo was a spectacle. Osaka was fun. Universal was a really fun day.
Yeah, Universal was fun.
Yeah, but I also obviously really enjoyed. Yeah, I mean Osaka. But I also really enjoyed like just that day in Nara as well. Like that was something special. Which obviously for me, it's different. You know, it's two different ways, isn't it? Your perspective as someone that's getting the proposal, and then me doing the proposal. Like for me, I was doing a lot of trying to just work out where's the best place to propose and things like that. And there was a lot of other places, but it just didn't work out for reasons that you may know based on the stuff we said on already, you know, why other places may not have worked well than others. But yeah, that was up there as well for me. But I think, to be honest, yeah, in addition to that, like Tokyo and Osaka are probably my favorite, and Mount Fuji as well. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's hard. I do this. I always make people choose their favorite places, and they choose one, and I just can't do it.
No, you've like listed off most of our trip there.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it was a phenomenal trip. Really would recommend Japan for anyone who's thinking about going.
Weren't you saying that Osaka's the most visited place in the world at the moment?
Yeah, I think I literally read that either today or yesterday. It's the top destination in the world at the moment.
Wow, there you go. I mean, go. Like it's an incredible experience. I've always wanted to go there. I think you've always wanted to go there. It's been an incredible experience, and obviously for us it's a very special trip for a multitude of reasons. But for anyone, you'll have the best time for sure.
Absolutely.
Right, let's end the full circle with the last song. So you chose Babymetal Ratata. So the last song I'm choosing is by a band called Cold Rain. They have got an absolute epic song called Mayday. I've loved that song for years, and it's a song I definitely will check out. They will have just performed at the Electric Ballroom by the time you've heard this. Very annoyingly, I can't go, but I hope that if anyone is going, you had the best time. Hence completing the full circle. Yay! Yeah, thanks so much for coming on, Abby. Thank you so much for being up for it as always. You have been on this show 4 times now. I mean, I remember trying to get you on the first time, and it was tricky.
Yeah.
It was tricky. How do you feel about your 4th stint on the full circle?
No, I enjoy it. That's why I keep coming back. Absolutely. Yeah, it's just like having a conversation, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so, but just a little bit more polite and less a little bit more polite. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Just remember this: stay safe. Don't eat beef.